Welcome everyone to the ESL One Hamburg 2017 finals for the CIS closed qualifier. We have Virtus.pro today going up against Team Spirit in a best of 5 series. This should be a wonderful series of games to cast. I'm very excited. I'm your caster Moxie. I'm casting this with Forge today, and we've already got that pesky little Hydralisk picked up for the side of Team Spirit.
Not really a big surprise, either of these picks. And actually, we're going to get the Kunkka as a follow-up to the Ancient Apparition. Really nice supporting duo coming out from VP. And man, these picks are just flying by.
They know exactly what they want. I mean, Team Spirit yesterday, they were able to... Did they pick up the Venomancer? Yeah, they picked the Venomancer up first phase, 2 of the games out of the 3. And then, of course, one of the worst heroes that VP does not like to see is the AA, and they actually go ahead and draft it right away so they don't have to worry about it being on the other team.
Yeah, I mean, AA, just really obnoxious support right now. Ice Blast doing a lot of work, and even Chilling Touch, especially a lot in the early game, doing a lot. The Kunkka pickup is really nice as well. Gives them a lot of reliable chase, a lot of reliable lockdown. Once you get that X-Torrent online, really, really difficult to escape. We saw VP using this Kunkka to great effect against Na'Vi yesterday. They were able to edge out that victory, and this is a first pick actually that we've seen so far, at least, of the Rubik coming out from Team Spirit. Pretty interesting considering all of the really good spells that have been coming out that we've not really seen this guy picked up yet, as well as the null field being really good against all of the magic damage that's been coming out.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense here. I'm interested to see the plays that'll be coming out. I feel like with this level of Dota, we should see some pretty sneaky spell steals coming out. But again, when we see Broodmother, actually, Virtus.pro have done their homework. They know that they have 2 people who will play Broodmother over on the side of Team Spirit, DK Phobos, of course, and Iceberg, both adept at that hero. Don't want to have to deal with that or any of the cheese that the babies bring when they're pushing down those lanes. And the Nature's Prophet, too. We've seen a lot of bans over on that hero throughout the tournament just because he's so pesky. He's very difficult to deal with, and the teleportation just around the map makes for a lot of headaches.
Yeah, and on the flip side of respect bans, we are going to see No One's Alchemist get banned out. VP using that to secure that victory against Na'Vi. So Team Spirit obviously paying very close attention to what VP has done. They've done their homework, and they say, no, we're not going to let you just ride out the late game on the Alchemist's back. And they take out the Faceless Void as well, which is just really nice wombo combo with the Ancient Apparition. Chronosphere to Ice Blast is just such a filthy, filthy combination. So really nice drafting coming up from Team Spirit, not letting them get a cheesy 1-2 punch.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Faceless Void picked up during this tournament, but especially that Alchemist as well. That's been a problem for a lot of teams, just the fact that you can keep an Alchemist down for a certain period of time, really try to gank him, put a lot of pressure, but eventually he's going to come online, and when he comes online, it's a very big struggle. Again, we saw that happening with VP picking it up against Na'Vi yesterday. I think No One just taunted the entire time in mid, and then he ended up giving an Ags over to the Weaver, which really just, it was ridiculous because it saved him so many times. He was so difficult to take down. But we get the Pasha Darkseer and the Ramsey Sven, and oh my gosh, Forge, am I excited for this. These are 2 heroes that are just signature heroes that are going to do so much work. The vacuum wall combos with the Storm Hammer and just boat everything else. This is, oh, I'm actually so excited for this. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, and we saw, like, the excitement is real as well, because we saw Pasha and Lil doing a lot of work with Darkseer and the Earthshaker earlier in the tournament against Effect, and just absolutely shredding through them. So they are going to swap that Earthshaker out for the Kunkka and the Sven, but still, like you said, a lot of wombo combo potential. But on the flip side, also a lot of really good spells for the Rubik to steal now. Stormhammer, pretty good. X marks, if Rubik's can get his hands on that, is going to be really good against the Darkseer. Vacuum for the Venomancer. There's a lot of really good steal and counterplay potential coming out from the Biver Rubik.
I think the scary thing with this is you've got Venomancer, right? And Venomancer needs to kind of be in the middle of every single one of these heroes to get that ultimate off and make it just max effect. The issue now we have is that we've got this Darkseer that's, you know, It's going to be very, very difficult to get your positioning right because, yeah, he'll vacuum you in the middle of everything. But on top of that, you're going to get the Storm Hammer followed up with all these other spells. It's going to be really difficult if they kind of stun lock Venomancer to get these things done coming out here on the side of Team Spirit.
I wouldn't be surprised to see an earlier BKB pickup. There's going to be a lot of 4-staffs on the side of Team Spirit trying to, like, just quickly get away before the Stormhammer comes in after that vacuum. But they're going to go for a Troll Warlord, one of the heroes that can actually man-fight against Sven a little bit because you get both the blind chance as well as those bashes, even through BKB. Troll Warlord, one of those heroes that can just, you know, as long as he gets a lucky bash or two, can just fight right up against the Sven in his face.
Yeah, it's interesting with Troll. It's one of the few heroes that can really man-fight anyone early on, except for maybe the Lifestealer, depending. But definitely a good pickup. It looks like the side of Virtus.pro wants to fight early here. They also pan out DK Phobos. They don't want to see that Brewmaster. Now, I know you've told me that he's very, very good with this hero. We've been seeing it being played in the current patch.
Yeah, he's been playing this to great effect, both in Star Ladder as well as the PGL Open. Hasn't yet been able to pick it up in the ESL qualifiers because probably it's either been banned out or not worked with the draft. But it is his third most played hero. He's got a pretty good win rate on it, just shy of 70%.
Wow.
I would say it's a comfort pick. Also very good at dealing with Darkseer. You get that nice Dispel magic, can get rid of Surge, get rid of Ion Shells. Really good to toss the Sven up in the air before he gets his BKB online. A lot of team fight control. So that's why VP has decided to just not give him the chance to pick that up here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good idea to ban out heroes that are super comfort. I don't think I have any heroes. I think so you're going to judge me really hard on this, but I think the only hero that I have over a 70% win rate with is Sniper.
Oh, Moxie, why?
I know.
Is it because you have like 3 games on him?
No, actually I have quite a few games on him. I am a dirty sniper picker occasionally, guys. Could be worse though, right? I could say that I'm a Viper spammer.
Yes, that would be. I would judge you harshly for that. I am also a dirty Viper or dirty sniper picker, so
Sniper
I can't
picker.
say too
All
much.
right. All right, sniper no sniping, but we get the Beastmaster pickup, which is going to be nice setup. If they get initiated on, though, it's going to be very difficult for Beastmaster to get the Primal Roar off in time yet again here with the Venomancer. So I think it comes down to an issue of who initiates first.
Yeah, that's going to be the real key because, I mean, DK Phobos did such a great job with this yesterday. Like, he was able to rat very effectively, secure the Team Spirit the victory against M19 in a very clutch base race situation. A lot of really nice refresher plays, and the Primal Roars coming out onto the enemy PL, secure them that win. So I'm really looking forward to see what he does against the Ramsey Sven here, who, again, it's another way to kite the Sven even once he gets the BKB online. That's what they're worried about. They know BKB is going to come. How do they deal with him once it's there? So their answer is going to be the Iceberg Troll and the DK Phobos Beastmaster. And this is interesting too because they're putting Iceberg as the Troll Warlord up against the No One Lina, which is a pretty scary matchup for Troll. There's a lot of magic burst damage that comes up from Lina in the early game, and Troll relies on his mischances to stay alive.
Yeah, we do have the Lina pickup though for the side of No One, and that's going to be very, very exciting to see. We've got so many like signature heroes coming out here for the side of Virtus.pro, so I'm super excited to see, you know, these setups for these team fights. They've got quite a bit of it, but at the same time, Team Spirit, you know, they've got a very decent draft here. I'm excited to see FNG, see what he can do with that Rubik, but we're going to head into game number 1.
It's interesting to me that they put FNG on the Rubik and not Biver. Biver is, when he was playing for Na'Vi, pretty much played exclusively Rubik if he could get his hands on it. Very comfortable hero for him, but FNG you know, also plays a decent bit of Rubik, not quite as much as Biver, but they opt to just give Biver the Coddle instead, keep him on that position 4. They want a really early Aghanim Scepter on this Keeper of the Light for the vision advantage.
So Forge, just to double check, because I apparently had turned it off from playing Dota yesterday, make sure that your open mic is on in game, because someone said that there was no commentary actually in game. And partially that was me. My bad, guys.
Mine is online, so that's a little peculiar.
All right. All right, so everybody's headed out over here. Looks like we've got Rubik coming around, placing wards. General movement, nothing too crazy.
The one thing I am noticing too a lot about VP's draft, or not VP, sorry, Team Spirit's draft, is they're playing a very, very good vision game. You've got Plague Wards on the Venomancer. You've got the Hawks and the Boars coming out from Beastmaster, and then of course eventually Keeper of the Light's going to get that Aghanim Scepter, get that flying vision during day. So Team Spirit is hoping to use this nice vision advantage to kind of disrupt the team fight that VP has enabled for themselves.
That's definitely a good point, seeing the fact that you've got the Caudal for the Unobstructed, the Hawk, and of course the little Venolings. So yeah, vision game, really, really good here. It's going to cause a little bit of problems if Darkseer decides to try to go for that Blink Dagger. If he's not careful, it could get easily cancelled out by the Veno Plague Wards. But
it's going to be a smoke up top, though. Rubik is going to pop it. He's going to see...
Yeah, the level 1 capabilities for getting a kill with this lane is actually so scary. They're actually... Are they aggro trying?
Yeah, this is going to be an aggro try.
That's so scary because Cold Feet's going to proc every time.
They're going to just swap out DK Phobos. DK Phobos is going to head to the top lane, and Troll... They did swap out as well, actually. ILTW is going to play the Troll, and it's going to be the Iceberg mid-Venomancer. But they do find a kill.
They find Solo, but they have no way to stop him from leaving, so he knows that if he tries to just walk away, that Boar Slow is going to be too much for him. This is still a very scary lane, though, to go top against. You've got, of course, you know, the Ancient Apparition will have, you know, Cold Feet. You've got the Stormhammer, and of course you've got the Kunkka with the X marks the spot Torrent. It's a very scary kill lane.
Yeah, but they're gonna run dual lanes to try and deal with this. They're gonna keep Viver top with DK Phobos and just leave ILTW solo against Darkseer.
Yeah, they're trying to put a lot of pressure over onto no one early on. We do have Iceberg playing Veno, which of course, you know, kind of a gross hero, will give him a little bit of an edge maybe against no one, but of course no one, one of the best mids in the world. Rubik standing nearby. Kind of hanging out there, and top lane, there's the Chilling Touch coming out here over onto DK Phobos. He's trying to run himself out. Are they going to go for the dive? Yeah, he jukes himself into the tower. He's sitting so low. That salve actually going to be able to come in handy, but was sitting under 90 hit points, I believe.
Oh, the pings are coming out. Iceberg wants to go, but he's going to miss the Gale.
No one trying to just run himself out. The slow coming out. This could be actually a very dead no one. Yeah, the slow coming out. Iceberg gets first blood here in mid.
Top lane too. They're going in on DK Phobos again.
Yep. Looks like he's getting body blocked by all of these creeps. Stormhammer comes out though, and Ramsey's just chunking him down. There's not much the Viver can do here. He's just kind of booping Solo over here on the side. And actually Solo gonna get the kill. He's sitting pretty low himself. Does have a salve. We'll go ahead and use that. I just don't know how you send anyone to this lane. This is just such a scary kill lane coming out here from the side of VP.
I mean, the only answer really is, you know, you can see DK Phobos.
Stormhammer comes out again over onto DK Phobos. He just cannot get away. This Coddle he can't do much to help him out here, unfortunately. Yeah, not for lack of trying, definitely. Viver's trying really, really hard, but there's only so much that he can do. And now Lil, trying to grab this rune, doesn't get it quite in time. He's just going to walk away from Viver here.
Man, if he'd had mana for the Illuminate there, that might have actually been a dead Lil, but he does secure himself a rune, which is nice, and Lil gets away, which is nice for him.
We've got another rotation coming out here from FNG, spotting no one over here. He does have the Arcane Rune. Looks like they want to try to make a play, but he obviously sees him. Yeah, there's the click coming out here from no one. Says, just get out of my lane.
This is still okay, though, because Iceberg has still got control of the lane. He's still farming. You know, no one has to wait for these creeps to come in. Iceberg gets free denies, free last hits in the meantime. So even though no kill opportunity is there, it's still some time wasted for no one where he can't farm.
Oh, Pasha's trying to run himself back here. FNG will be able to get the lift. Gets the clicks off. One more click is needed. Is he going to be able to get this? No, he might actually get taken down. Pasha outplaying him, juking and breaking those ankles. Yeah, the really whoops. It was a nice try, definitely. I mean, you know, you're a Rubik. You see a kill, you think you can get it, but you just get juked around. And, of course, you know, that surge ring around the rosy going on bottom.
Yeah, and ILTW is actually farming very well against this Darkseer.
Look at the
Darkseer
scan.
is getting... Oh,
This random scan. They figure something's got to be up, and they spot him out. Iceberg already just says, yeah, no, I'm going to go bottom. See if I get lucky with this rune. Unfortunately, he isn't. The top rune is regen. What a lucky scan, though, right?
I mean,
Just
it wasn't really lucky. The supports have been sitting top pretty consistently. They have this really nice lane ward, so they can pretty much see where the supports are at all times. And after DK Phobos not getting killed for a little bit and still not seeing the supports, they probably figure, hey, somebody's smoked up, somebody's here. This is where they'd likely come from.
Torn coming out over here on mid, though. They will be able to land the Light Strike Array. X comes out over onto Iceberg. He's going to try to go ahead, heal himself up. The rotation coming out from FNG going to be able to save him as well, buying him a little more time.
Yeah, with that salve, they knew they didn't have the damage, so they do back up. And FNG doing a pretty good job on this Rubik. Keeping his Venomancer alive, getting that kill onto the Lina for first blood was really key as well.
Well, I mean, his
Really nice
rotations have really been on point. He's made sure that, you know, he's been around when needed to go ahead and interrupt any sort of ganks coming out over here on mid. They will try to go over here onto no one. The Gale actually doesn't connect, and I think they'll just reset, go back to just last hitting during all this. But yeah, that's a pretty feels bad moment when it's like, oh, DK Phobos isn't getting killed. I think I'm getting ganked. This is such a scary lane. But
Yeah,
still more
it
movement
really
coming
is.
out. They get the lift over onto Lina over here in mid. We'll be able to land the Gale, and that's just so much damage coming out. Doesn't connect the Light Strike Array. Tries to just do whatever he can to put out some damage, but it doesn't matter. Iceberg's just playing this disgusting hero, and it's working out great for him right now.
And it's going well for Team Spirit too, because they've got a troll who's actually doing really well against Darkseer in the bottom lane. Because of the ranged swap back and forth to range to melee, he can kind of, you know, alter his attack speed, alter his movement speed, and get this nice last hitting advantage against Darkseer that's constantly pushing Mugwaves in.
Biver's in trouble here. He's going to actually get the cold feet proc, and Ramsey's going to get yet another kill. This is a guy you don't want running away with kills and just... This is a signature Ramsey's hero. This guy is known for being super efficient on Sven and just being great with his timings. And if you're getting kills on this guy early, it's really, really scary. Nice D-ward coming out here, but it looks like Iceberg might be in a little trouble of his own. He actually has his ultimate, goes ahead, pops it. The Laguna Blade comes out. They're still going to get the kill over onto Lil. Iceberg, can he get himself out in time? He's actually going to be able to walk away from this. And now no one, he's going to try to run out. We do see a rotation coming out here from Pasha. Going to try to just burn down FNG as much as possible. He knows that he can hang out. That's a nice vacuum. We'll be able to take down the Rubik.
And no one being very wise with his bottle charge as well. Every time he sees a tick come out, he bottle charges very quickly. Actually keeps him alive on like 20-30 HP. Really nicely played by him.
He is, again, one of the best mids in the world. It's always fun to watch this guy play.
What is really dangerous for Team Spirit is they've got this like quad or like 5-stack on their hard camp, but if they get killed, they can very easily, you know, Ramses can just run over and take that.
Oh, they do pull him back, though, over here on the side. He throws out the Storm Hammer. Doesn't connect over onto any heroes, but actually Biver going to be able to get him with that last Illuminate.
I mean, that's a pretty key kill. Like you mentioned, Ramsey's very comfortable on this Sven, has been getting, you know, a couple of kills, is suffering a little bit in the last hit department, only 32 and 11 compared to the Trolls 49 and 16, but I mean, that is just the nature of having a contested lane versus really it's just Darkseer spam missing troll up down bottom. But they're going to make the switch now. After that kill, Ramsey says, all right, I'm going to farm bottom. You go do whatever you want, top lane or in the jungle. He's going to take that safe lane farm now on Sven.
This reminds me a little bit of some of the games that I watched at the International where you saw EG going up against a couple of these teams, and they just send multiple heroes to put a lot of pressure over onto mid. But during all this, you know, Arteezy had a lot of space, was able to do quite a bit of farming. So I'm wondering almost if, like, this is something similar. You know that no one's a fantastic mid. You send a lot of resources there, but at the same time, like you're saying, ILTW is getting quite a bit of experience, gold, and just a quiet lane to farm with.
Yeah, I think the only reason that the Venomancer is ahead of him is because of those kills onto no one. Darkseer has just been completely free farming, so it's no surprise that he's top of the net worth. But I mean, ILTW is doing very well for himself. He's already got himself his phase boots, his Aquila. He's closing in on his Morbid Mask. That'll be a very quick Mask of Madness, and he's actually going to go right for the BKB afterwards to kind of negate that Wombo combo.
Look at the immediately lane swap, though. We've got Pasha, who's moved himself up to the top lane now that ILTW was moved as well. And we see that Ramses has moved into his own jungle here, just farming out waves and going into the jungle, retreating, keeping up that GPM.
Yeah, we do see some ancient stacks for no one as well. One, there's a triple stack by the mid lane, and a double stack so far by that top shrine. So the stacks, the recovery farm is going to be there for Sven. It's just going to be a question of how quickly can he take those.
You see the rotation up here with Lil, looking to put even more pressure onto the troll, but Rubik does get spotted out over here in the jungle. Do you see them with that ward? There's going to be the TP coming out here with the Kunkka, hoping to get that X off. Goes around the corner. Low, can he get it? No, it looks like he's just not going to be quite in range just yet.
Yeah. X level 2 is still kind of bad, but X level 3, and once you get that level 4 range, it's really key. But really nice efficiency from Lil. TP is there, doesn't get the kill, immediately moves into securing his Sven some more stack farm. And this is going to be just a huge influx of gold for Sven, and I don't think Team Spirit has the tools or the capabilities to really contest that farm.
During all this too, Iceberg has just been having a great time over here in mid. Hasn't had anyone really bothering him, has gotten a couple kills on top of that, has not died yet either. Definitely getting that early momentum going that he needs for this hero.
Man, Sven, what a hero. He takes that ancient stack and he jumps up like almost 1,000 gold just from that one creep camp.
I mean, that's the power of Sven, you know, that built-in cleave, being able to take stacks early, and having good supports too that make sure that they're stacking as well makes such a difference with this hero.
And with this being a hero that Ramses plays a lot, I mean, VP has to be totally used to making these stacks and know when he's going to want his timing, so they don't start stacking too early, but they start stacking around the time that he's going to be able to take them.
Oh, that lift coming out almost was able to take out Solo. Cold Feet does proc though over onto FNG. And we see a TP coming out. There's a little bit of action going on between Lil and DK Phobos. He's actually going to go ahead, use the Primal Roar. He's in a lot of trouble, though, now. Pasha making this rotation. Looks like Lil's still going to go down. Nice vacuum coming in. Buys him a couple more seconds, but now Pasha's going to be forced to run himself out. He doesn't have Surge quite yet. Will get it at the last second. Run himself out. And during that, looks like Rubik was able to steal the, what is that, the vacuum? Yeah.
It's a vacuum.
So
if he'd have gotten Surge, they actually maybe get that kill.
Meanwhile, Ramsey's hard at work here. Farming hard. He works hard for the money.
I mean, the really scary thing is just this Iceberg Venomancer. He's pretty much got his Veil already. Just, you know, a couple hundred more golds. And once that's online this early into the game, it's going to be very difficult for squishy heroes like the Lina, the AA. Even Sven's going to have some difficulties. A lot of his tankiness in the early game comes from that extra Warcry armor. 15 extra armor in the early game is ridiculous. So the magic damage actually a pretty good solution to dealing with Sven, at least in the early game.
Well, that and Venomancer, you know, he's a kiting hero. He slows bottom lane again. Oh, it looks like Solo not going to be as lucky this time to get away. Cold Feet proc won't go out over onto Biber, and we do get a steal coming out here from FNG, and he's able to steal Torrent.
Yeah, pretty nice little cheeky combo you can do with Rubik now. You've got the lift into a Torrent. Already have your own built-in timer. You can just immediately.
Oh boy, Lil goes to the wrong side of these trees here. Torrent comes out. There's going to be a nice illuminate, and Iceberg, as if he needed any more money, will be able to get the last hit. Nice Ice Blast comes in. Not going to do too much damage though. And this bottom tower looking like it's going to belong to the Dire very, very soon. Meanwhile, Pasha is going to have to run himself away from this troll. Did not enjoy getting hit in the face.
You know, most people don't, Moxie.
Yeah. I mean, it's the internet, right? I'm sure there's someone out there that probably likes that. Who are we to judge? But do you see double boars coming out, trying to invade this jungle? They do spot Ramses over here in the corner. He's got his Mask of Madness completed. The double boar slow is just so gross. They need to be careful, though. They don't know where everyone is right now on the side of the Radiant. They have to assume that they're about to get jumped on by quite a few people, and there's still a shrine up. There's only 4 of them.
I mean, the shrine actually just got used. They don't know that, but the shrine did just get used, so they could take a fight right here.
They could. ILTW making space, rather not making space, but making use of the space. Being able to go ahead, wail on that top tower. The torrent comes out here from Rubik. Nice slow getting thrown over onto Solo. I think they just want to back themselves out. We do have Primal Roar online as well. And the Poison Nova.
The fog. He almost gets the
Oh, he gets the Poison Nova off, though. We'll turn themselves back around. Ice Blast going to be able to come in. We'll connect over onto Viver. Looks like we're going to lose Iceberg here. He's going to just get taken down. Now, no one trying to run himself out as well. The X comes out, though, over onto Ramses. We'll be able to pull him back, but there's another X coming out here onto DK Phobos. The Invis Rune being really helpful, but it doesn't matter. They know where he is thanks to that X, and now it looks like FNG will fall to Pasha as he just comes running over at him. Looks like he's going to try to grab that Keeper of the Light, but unfortunately just didn't have the Surge up and running or the Vacuum at that point. But again, top tower gets taken down by LTW, so good use of that space. Although they do lose multiple heroes on the side of Spirit.
Yeah, really good engagement from VP there. They poke and prod. They know that when it comes to actual like team fight, they have the advantage. So they're just trying to poke and prod, find the Venomancer alone. As soon as they see him, Stormbolt into the X Torrent, Lina dealing with the backline so that the support can't come in, and just isolating Iceberg. He does get off his ultimate, but because of the run buff, and he was just a little bit shy of level 2 ultimate, they were able to take that fight.
Darkseer has multiple raindrops. Those don't stack. He'll lose a raindrop from, right? He'll lose a raindrop from the 5 and the 1 stack?
As far as I know, they don't stack. Yeah, what you can do if you want to double buy them is put one in the backpack, but as far as I know, this doesn't work.
Oh no, Ice Blast does connect though over here onto Rubik. FNG in a little bit of trouble here. Here comes the boat though. We'll get thrown out over onto DK Phobos. Torrent comes out over here as well. This double board slow. Phobos trying to do his best here. We'll turn around. The cold feet does proc. They're going to be able to go ahead, use that veil coming out here from Iceberg. And now no one's going to come join in the fight. They've got their eyes over here onto Iceberg. They do pull the troll in though, using the Keeper of the Light ultimate. So already this fight should be turning around considering that Ramses is top.
And Viver's already got his 4 staff. He's been farming pretty effectively, so he's got his 4 staff online. Actually saves the Beastmaster there, gets him just out of range of both the Lina Dragon Slave as well as the Cold Feet proc that was about to go off. So Viver doing a really nice job there, both with the Blinding Light as well as the 4 staff play to keep his DK Phobos alive.
Look at all the sentry wards that got placed over here on the side.
That'll happen in a team fight. You'll just be like fighting and you think somebody's
1, 2, 3.
invis.
You know, blocking camps though with this one at least. Trying not to give Ramses any more room to farm. He has been hanging out here in the top lane, doing something similar to what ILTW was doing whenever his team is fighting, trying to do some split pushing, getting up his farm.
Well, the way that Ramses plays his Sven a lot is he gets the Echo Saber, he gets the Mask of Madness, which we see, and then he starts showing up to fights once he has his Blink Dagger. Those are like his trifecta of 3 items that he really likes. He can fight before that, as we've seen, we saw down bottom earlier, but that's his like trifecta of like, okay, I'm ready to go. He takes a couple of fights with those 3 items, and then he's like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go farm out my BKB, and then he's really starting to come online. Ramses really good at waiting until he has his proper items and recognizing that they need those items before he can take more fights.
Well, that's something that he's really well known for, is his item timing and his efficiency. He knows, all right, I need to get this item to be really, really effective in these team fights. I'm just going to focus on getting that. Once I have it, then it's go time. Then we start seeing them take those objectives and taking a lot of team fights, like you said. But do you have a smoke coming out over here? Lena's trying to get that Fiery Soul stack started, and
she's got Bloodstone. They want to take a fight right now.
Oh, that Arcane Rune. They do spot FNG. The Vacuum comes out. He's just thrown up into the air with that Torrent and X combo.
And she gets the Arcane Rune on top.
That's the life, right?
That is the life. Viver might be in a bit of trouble, though, if he doesn't start running. No one runs down instead of up, so Viver gets to live for now.
Getting so close to this Blink Dagger timing, too, over here on Ramses.
On the flip side, though, Troll does have BKB. So this will be fresh BKB versus fresh Bloodstone. We'll see who takes that advantage.
Yeah, that'll be a huge reveal. They actually go for the smoke, though, and they have the ward. They know that they're going to be coming into their jungle. Oh, yeah, they realize it right away. Oh, man, we just smoked on top of a ward. Looks like they're just going to group up then. And not even bother since they know that they're there. The Iron Shell doing so much work here over on Sven as well. It's actually such a good combo. Like Darkseer Sven, you know, being able to speed up this hero that, you know, sometimes has some problems with being kited, but also the extra damage on him with the Ion Shell when you're in the middle of everything is just so scary if you're on the enemy team.
Yeah, and Surge with the Venomancer in the enemy team is really good too, because you can just, again, if you get Galed, that nice 50% slow, just Surge and run away. And Darkseer also a natural pipe builder, as we see him going into here, so really nice draft coming out from VP. And of course, it's just a Pasha classic as well, so really nice synergy. Troll now gonna go for the defusal. They really want to kite this Sven around as much as possible. They've identified him as threat number 1.
Well, anything you can do to kite the Sven, disable him, make it so that he can't hit. I mean, I'm surprised that we're not seeing someone thinking about getting a Heaven's Halberd, because that is something that Sven really, really hates to see on the enemy team and is really strong right now. I'm
sure we'll see DK Phobos grab one later. Maybe Iceberg grabs it, but it'll probably be DK Phobos.
Yeah, I'd assume it'd be DK Phobos. It makes more sense on him. But they'll go in for this Roche. They will use a scan over here on the side. They don't see anyone. These little plague wards giving them quite a bit of vision.
Yeah, and Ramsey's actually changing his mind. He's decided, I don't want the Blink Dagger. They grab one on Lina, so probably going to rely on the Lina with the Tonka and the Darkseer for the initiation, and he just wants to be able to dish out as much damage as he can in those team fights. He doesn't want to have to waste item slots on that mobility item.
Maybe he's concerned too about the fact that they do have the Venomancer who can just go ahead and cancel out the blinks. As a possibility. They really are just chasing after no one here.
I mean, their team spirit is very strong right now. You've got Aegis BKB up on your Trolls, so even if you burst him down, you've got that BKB when he resurrects. And it's actually a little bit scary for VP to take a fight right now. Sven isn't fully online. He doesn't have that Blink Dagger, so he has to, you know, BKB is better here, but it's also more expensive, so it's going to take a little bit longer for him to come online. And until he does, they can't fight him. And especially with this Necronomicon coming out now, the mana burn. I mean, Sven's already a hero that struggles with mana, so the extra mana burn and a lot of physical damage coming out from DK Phobos.
Now it looks like we've got a Shadow Blade being queued up. There's the BKB pickup though over on Sven, so that's going to be very, very helpful. And it's definitely a necessity when you have someone like Keeper of the Light going ahead and doing the mana leak, and then of course Venomancer, where pretty much everything coming out from him is magical. So that'll help him quite a bit in these fights again. Really relying on no one to probably get in there, land the Light Striker A, followed up with your Darkseer, obviously.
He's going to go back for the Blink Dagger now because he knows he probably still needs it. But just opting to, for now, trust his team and let them initiate until he gets that online. After that, I think we see him go for a Bloodthorn. It's really good against the Troll because it pierces that the Mischance. It's good against the Venomancer because he can't get his spells off. BKB is obviously going to be a problem, but the great thing about Sven is you Bloodthorn somebody and then you just have so much damage that they die before they can get it off with the duration of your stun. So it wouldn't be surprised to see him get that Bloodthorn later on.
I do see Spot Pasha over here, but don't opt to actually do any initiating. So Sven's actually top, wailing away on this tower. You've got Kunkka standing nearby, and you've got Ancient Apparition, but they're doing their own little push down here. Ice Blast is going to come in. We'll connect over onto 2 of these heroes. But it looks like they're content to just siege here. They have the Aegis up and running over on ILTW. Iceberg can drop Plague Wards and just kind of chip away, but at the same time, they do lose the tier 2 top. Sven actually popping the God Strength for it.
Both of these teams are actually so good at delaying pushes. You've got Ion Shell coming out. You've got Dragon Slave coming out from the side of Virtus.pro. And for Team Spirit, you've got Coddle Rubik, which is just like an easy way to just destroy a creep wave. You've got Illuminate, which takes them down to like 90% HP, and then you bounce a Fade Bolt around, creep wave's gone. They can. Both teams are really good at delaying out these pushes.
We do see some push coming down here from the side of the Dire. They want to take this tier 2, really cut out the jungle for this Sven. Nice Ice Blast coming in though. Will connect over onto ILTW. Kunkka coming forward. He's got the Ion Shell being placed on him so he can just run in, try to dish out some damage. Hawk standing over here on the side will keep an eye out in case any of them have Blink Daggers and try to initiate from that side. But no Blink over on DK Phobos, none on the Rubik either.
Pipe is completed for Pasha though, so a bit of that magic damage from Venomancer as well as Coddle going to be negated. And the mech going to help out a lot with the physical damage coming out from Beastmaster and the Troll Warlord. So really nice itemization coming out from Pasha. He's going to go for the Blink next for some extra initiation, just team mobility on the side of Virtus.pro.
That's interesting to know too. The Lina, you know, no one having a bit of trouble here in lane, having to deal with the Venomancer is an incredible headache, and they got ganked several times. But he's actually top of the net worth now, followed up with, of course, Ramsey. So 12k running on Lina, 11 over on Ramses, and 11 over on ILTW.
Even though they have the stronger team fight, the early game advantage definitely went to Team Spirit. So Virtus.pro recognizing that and stepping back, farming the items, keeping their efficiency just way more superior. Team Spirit's been doing a lot of grouping and pushing. Even now, you can see them as 4 in this bottom lane. Whereas if you look at Virtus.pro, it's like 2 in the bottom lane, Lina doing her own thing, Sven getting babysit a little bit by Kunkka, but still, for the most part, doing his own thing. The efficiency coming up from Virtus.pro is securing them a late game advantage. And since they already have a team fight advantage, they're doing very well to secure themselves this game, despite the rough start they had.
Well, efficiency is the name of the game. They do go ahead. They pop a smoke, or not pop a smoke, but they do go ahead and smoke. They don't have much vision, though, over here in the Dire jungle. Fast, most of the Dire heroes are actually just pushing down here in the bot lane. So I'm not sure what they hope to achieve. Maybe hoping that one person sticking around, they can get a pick off. But they're not going to find anyone up here in the jungle.
I think they're hoping to find Fiverr. They know he's got... He's got the eggs. I don't know if they know this or not, but he has the eggs online now, so they were probably hoping to catch him before he had that, and then move into a push.
Well, they know he's the only one that really seems to be staying behind trying to do D-push, so if they can get the jump on him, that makes it a lot easier for them to go forward, push, and it puts a lot of pressure over onto Spirit because someone's got to go home then. Someone's got to deal with that, so they can't go pushing into the Radiant base.
Fiverr's been very careful about his positioning, though. He's got his gem online now as well. Been farming up these waves very effectively. He's actually just right behind Pasha on this Darkseer in terms of farm.
Now Pasha making really nice rotations early, showing up in mid when he sees that ganks are going down. He sees opportunities to be able to get a kill. He's been doing a great job here with, you know, got the pipe online. He's got the mech as well. Going to be grabbing that Blink Dagger, and I think that's when we're really going to start seeing some ridiculous plays coming out from both him and Ramses.
Yeah, right now it's a question of, you know, VP having the team fight advantage, but the vision advantage 100% is going to Team Spirit right now. If we take a look at what VP can see, it's basically like tower vision plus 1 ward. They just spot Fiverr up top now, whereas Dire Vision, you know, they've got vision all over the map. They've got hawks, they've got wards. Team Spirit really being able to pick and choose when they want to engage.
Do have a bit of a grouping. I'm not sure if they're looking to push or get a gank or something down here. They're making space, though, over here for Ramses to be able to go ahead, keep farming. Got nothing queued up right now. But, again, I feel like once we get that blink up and running over onto Pasha, which is coming in really, really fast. We're going to see probably a smoke and the team fight that we've been craving coming out from Virtus.pro.
Not only that, but I think both teams are waiting for Roshan. Fiverr being able to keep a really good eye on that thanks to his I'm just going to walk by it and see if he's there or not. But that's probably what both teams are waiting for. And Sven's actually looking to go into an AC next, probably with this Hyperstone. I'd be surprised if that's either a Moonshard or a Mjolnir. So it's probably going to be the AC coming out from Sven, helping to deal with this physical damage. And
I mean, more armor is better, right? He's already got the Warcry, which gives him plus armor, and then you get the Assault Cuirass, which will take away the armor from his opponents. So
it's also been buffed so that it gives more armor to your teammates now than it used to. It used to give like 20 and give your team 5. Now it gives you 15 and your team 10. So it's going to help his teammates stay alive as well. It's not just him. Casual farm of some Necro 3s. Those are actually worth a fair chunk of change. Worth about, I think, 180 each, or 200. So that's some nice gold for the AA to pick up.
I feel like this has been a game of, I don't want to say dodging, but every time that it looks like Team Spirit's grouping up, they're thinking about going for a push or a fight, it ends up not happening.
I mean,
oh, Roche is up. No one has spotted it out. This is big for them. God Strength popped immediately.
Yeah, and they don't know either. Team Spirit has no idea this is going on. They might start to suspect something now. They see Pasha rotating
But they
over,
can't get there fast enough. This is definitely an easy Roche. And they're going to go ahead, put the Aegis over onto no one.
Yeah, cheese on Ramses. And this actually gives them a kind of key to high ground. Lena can very safely, she's got that 150 attack range talent now. So she can sit on the low ground and do a lot of work in terms of sieging potential. Ramsey's going to come bottom to see if he needs to defend a push or not. But Team Spirit might have to very quickly rotate up to top lane.
Well, they have TP scrolls on pretty much everyone here, so won't be too bad of a... Won't be too big of a deal. Ramsey's, of course, down here, going to be able to push out the waves. Does realize that there are a lot of friends there, but while this is going on, you've still got no one and you've got Solo up here top. And they're just going to keep putting pressure here onto this lane. Someone has to go home and deal with this. And I think that's exactly... Yeah, they're going to send Viver.
Lena might blink forward onto the high ground here once she sees...
It's a little risky. I don't know if she's going to want to play that quite yet, just because she doesn't have that much for teammates standing behind her. You know, Solo's awesome. We love Solo. But there's only so much that a little AA can do. And especially with now having the Beastmaster. I almost said the DK Phobos. Well, it is the DK Phobos, but coming back as well.
Yeah, without having vision of the rest of Team Spirit, maybe a little bit sketched out to go for that high ground push. But, I mean, VP is doing a really good job of splitting up the map. Like you said, every time Team Spirit wants to go for a group up and push kind of move, VP just pushes out the other two lanes. They push out mid with Ramses. They push top with no one. They're not allowing them to do this 5-man Dota because they know Team Spirit, even though they can push faster, they can't push 2 lanes faster. They still have tier 2s. Sorry, VP still has tier 2s in the other lanes. And, I mean, they're going to lose much more objectives than VP will with a trade like that.
We do have a little bit of jungle invasion coming out. They've got their eyes over here on this tier 2. Important to note now, we've got a Darkseer that has a Blink Dagger online, and I'm not sure if that's been revealed yet, so this could be a huge fight for the side of the Radiant.
Not only that, they've got AC on Sven. And I think, yeah, Pasha has cheese as well. They ended up giving the cheese to Pasha.
They know, somehow they know that not everybody is in that base defending because of the creep wave, so they're going to go make their way bottom, hoping to maybe catch out ILTW.
Let's see if he can make it out. He doesn't have any kind of invis or anything.
Oh, yeah, he'll be able to make it out. No problem here. In fact, Coddle even going so far as to recall him at the same time, like just in case.
And Troll's actually doubling back for an S and Y now, which is an interesting decision because normally you see that going on in the early game. That's a very early game pickup that you go for. What'll probably end up happening is that'll get disassembled into Manta Style and Heaven's Halberd, but it's just most times it gets picked up early because it's very cheap early stats. It's not a great late game item, and I'm curious as to why ILTW has opted to go for it at 32 minutes.
Looks like the smoke was not successful coming out from the side of the Dire. Hoping to get that counter gank, but didn't quite work out, so back to farming for the side of Team Spirit. And they still have an Aegis up and running over on Lil, so I don't know if they necessarily want to fight into this right now. No one was looking, he wanted to jump, but you know, with all of these wards, it's gonna foil that blink.
Such a frustrating hero to play against that Venomancer.
He's in almost every single one of my games. Him or Necro?
It's always one or the other. I'd honestly rather play against the Necro. but I'm just crazy like that.
They're both pretty terrible. They're both pretty toxic.
I mean, if you had to pick one, if you had to play against one, who's your preferred?
I'd rather play against Necrophos personally.
He just seems a little easier to deal with in the laning phase. Like, Venomancer seems impossible to gank.
Venomancer, I play support, and they tend to be very, very squishy. So if you just run into Venomancer once, he gets a Gale off and a couple like clicks, you're just dead. There's just no hope for you.
Well, we saw yesterday VP picking it up against Na'Vi. Crystallize goes for the solo Chronosphere onto, I believe it was no one playing the Venomancer that game.
There he goes solo here. He's going to get obliterated down in the spot lane. So that's a nice pick off for the side of Team Spirit. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was saying that we saw yesterday Na'Vi in the game against Virtus.pro. VP grabs the Venomancer, Crystallize goes for the solo Chronosphere, and it turns into a double kill for, I believe it was no one playing the Venomancer yesterday against Na'Vi.
Yeah. Yep, there were so many bananas in that game. How can you forget, Forge?
That's right, he was the taunt spammer. Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to get, you know, paired up against someone mid, that, I mean, both of those guys, you know, it was Dundee and no one, but they both seem like they've got a really fun personality. So I feel like it'd be a really good time. Very competitive, obviously, but...
Very, very competitive. But both, you know, friendly competition between those two, I think. A lot of respect going back and forth between those mids. But Sven is now going to go for the Bloodthorn that I mentioned earlier. Does opt to grab it. Probably going to swap out the Echo Saber.
Top lane, we do see some movement going on here. Looks like they found themselves a Lil. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get out from that. They did have a... oh, that's actually... Yeah, they have the Sentry Ward over here on the side.
Yeah, and
so
not only
that Glimmer Cape, not going to save him.
Not only that, but you've now got Blink X online on Rubik. So Sven might have to pop a BKB just to get away from this Rubik.
Sorry for not seeing any movement. I mean, seeing a little bit of movement here. It is daytime. They've got Coddle Ags. This might be a good time to try to
It's about to be
take an
nighttime,
objective.
though. It's going to turn to night in like 2 seconds.
Surprised that they weren't a little bit more aggressive, but I guess they were still concerned about the Sven having Ags. Not Ags, sorry, the Aegis, but Aegis has gone down. They actually are going to try to push during the nighttime here. They do find a Ramses, though. We'll be able to go forward. There's immediately the wall getting dropped into a vacuum. Ramses, he's sitting really, really low. This troll is just bashing away at him. Actually gets the kill. Pasha trying to run himself away from ILTW. He just can't get away fast enough. That Diffusal coming in. The Laguna Blade gets used over here onto the side. They still want to try to grab Lil over here. Looks like DK Phobos going to have to run himself back. And Rubik might actually shatter over here. He's got to be really, really careful.
Run buff OP. 50% damage reduction means that Rubik makes it out there. And a really nice initiation onto Sven. We saw like no opportunity for him to get his BKB off. He does get it off in the end, but immediately gets primal roared by DK Phobos on this great Beastmaster, who now grabs that Heaven's Halberd that we saw him kind of building towards. And I mean, it's going to be really tough now for Sven to get anything done in these team fights. He just got everything dumped on him.
This Coddle Ags is just doing so much work, especially when you consider the fact that, you know, 2 of these heroes had to go home. Oh no, it looks like no one's going to get caught out over here onto the side. Laguna actually comes out, though. Should be able to maybe get this kill over here onto... Oh yeah, there's the follow-up coming out from Pasha. He wants to get this kill over onto ILTW. The Diffusal comes out, though. Can he turn back around? Can he lifesteal enough off of this? He still has a little bit of that Ice Blast. He's still alive, though. Eventually he does shatter, but they get the tower in the meanwhile.
I mean, this is still a little scary. They don't have their Troll Warlord, but they've also got a Venomancer and a Beastmaster.
Oh, and they're going to be able to get the roar off over onto the AA. Boat actually gets used over here. Looks like Rubik going to have to move himself back, but Ramses is back. Ramses is up. He pops that BKB. They get a gem off of the Coddle, which will make them feel real good. And now Iceberg, he can't really do much about this. He's built pretty much entirely just for magic. Turns himself around, tries to kite Sven. He's got the Stormhammer, though. Phobos trying to come in here. We'll be able to go ahead, disarm him. They'll try to turn this back around. There's a lot of damage coming out without that BKB. Iceberg's just doing too much damage. The Warcry comes out. He's trying to just buy himself a little bit more time. Phobos, though, will be able to help take him down. The Laguna Blade gets used, but he'll still walk away from it.
Man, they just couldn't get anything done. The slows between Gale, Boar, And everything else, just so much slow coming out. Sven was like stuck in one place for so long there.
Look at the team net worth, Forge. Look at that after that fight. It is completely even. Look at that giant dip. And then look over at the experience earned. You know, we're talking about how VP were doing a great job making sure that they were, you know, split pushing. They were getting items, getting farm, getting experience. But after that fight, it just...
That looks like a really, really fun roller coaster.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that Heaven's Halberd, though, like we talked about earlier, was picked up over on Beastmaster. Obviously the better candidate rather than Iceberg.
I mean, Iceberg does have something else that's almost as good. He's got the Solar Crest, which caused Sven to miss at least like 2 times there. And 2 times with Sven God Strength is a lot of damage that's missed out on. Might have actually saved Venomancer's life, at least until the Beastmaster could show up with that Heaven's Halberd.
That was so close. It was so close because he had the BKB up and running, and, you know, Iceberg just throwing out the clicks. That's literally all he could do when that BKB is up and running. Was able to stay there long enough, stay alive, so that way he could finally get off the Poison Nova Gale on top of Ramses and take him down. But again, DK Phobos coming in at just the clutch moment with that Heaven's Halberd. Such a good item. It's like Heaven's Halberd and the, like, what's it called? Rod of Atos, I feel like, are such amazing. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, that blink away from Biver.
The blink dagger on the Keeper of the Light. Nice 4-staff from Iceberg.
Oh, FNG steals Ice Blast. We'll be able to turn around. Get a kill over onto Solo.
BKB that got popped by Lena down.
Oh, I heard a BKB. I wasn't sure who did it. Yeah, look at Biver leading the charge. We're not done with you yet. Come back here. 4-staff coming out. We'll be able to buy Kinka some more time.
Oh, Roar's online.
They get the Roar out anyways. And look, they're just throwing things down. Oh, the bounce back from Biver. He gets his gem back. He gets 2 gems. Yeah, that is like the dream when you're a support. Not only do you have a gem, you get the enemy's gem.
Yeah, he gives the spare over to Rubik, who's just been like FNG's been doing so much work with this Rubik. I was a little, you know, curious why they decided to give the Coddle to Biver, but it's worked out for them really well. FNG, a lot of really nice plays. Once he picked up that Blink Dagger, he was just, you know, frontlining basically, jumping in, getting off lifts into X, into Torrent, like everything he can get his hands on.
Now Rubik has a gem, as does the Coddle. Ice Blast coming in. Now FNG did steal the Ice Blast as well. They don't seem too concerned. They should be able to take this Roche down very, very quickly. In fact, they finish it up. They give the Aegis over onto ILTW. And who grabbed the cheese? Venomancer grabbed the cheese. There's the jump forward immediately coming out from Rubik. Light Strike Array. Looks like no one's going to be able to walk himself out, though. And he does have his Lincolns online, so that's going to help out a bit.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot against the Rubik initiations as well as the Beastmaster initiations. I mean, they have a couple of decent ways to pop it. They've got the Diffusal Blade, they've got Mana Leak, which, I mean, is a nice spell, but it's not as nice as some of the other ones. Ramses pops the God String.
He's gonna get Mana Leak too. Luckily, there's a shrine nearby. Not too big of a deal. They run over here onto the side. Beautiful wall vacuum into the Ghost Ship coming out as well. The BKB gets popped though off of ILTW, and he's turned his vision back around. He wants to get the skill over onto Noah. Ramsey's coming forward though. He's dishing out so much damage. Halberd comes out though. Will prevent him from getting any more damage over onto Troll for them. Meanwhile, Aegis does get popped. They turn themselves around. FNG is just going to fall victim to Ramses. And they lose their Aegis, that they lost no one, and they lost their Kunkka. And there's another gem on the ground. Whose gem is that? I think that is Rubik's gem. Now, they don't have no one. No one does have buyback. But I'm not sure if they still want to approach the high ground here, considering they just lost their Aegis.
Yeah, with Aegis offline and Cheese also getting popped by the Venomancer there, it's, I mean, it's just time for Team Spirit to back off. They've been able to use their vision advantage to just take such really nice initiations. Even though VP has the better, like, Wombo combo and, like, team fight, the initiations from Team Spirit have been so good. We saw DK Phobos do a lot of work yesterday with this Beastmaster, and he's proving his prowess again on this hero in this game against VP.
Still got both of the gems over on the side of Team Spirit. And that's kind of disappointing when you consider that, you know, Ramsey is just going to keep getting stronger here. He's pretty scary as it is. That Halberd, of course, doing a lot of work. But, you know, you generally hope that when you have an Aegis, you can get some sort of objective. And they did take a couple good fights, but unfortunately, because of the way that they went down, they weren't able to continue fighting even with no one down. How do you think is the best way for Team Spirit to really approach this again, to go for the high ground? I feel like they still probably need that Aegis, but should they just...
no one right now.
Okay.
No, if they killed no one right there, if Solo hadn't shown us his face, maybe they go for that.
They do spot Lil over here onto the side. They're going to try to go. Light Striker Egg not quite landing over here onto Iceberg. BKB gets popped over here onto Lena. It looks like we did hear a Primal Roller over onto Solo. He's trying to just put out some damage before he gets taken down. He's getting slowed so much. Ramses, though, he's just man-fighting this troll. BKB is up and running. Can they get the Light Striker away? They're not going to be able to do it, and they're able to go ahead. They stun up ILTW over here on the side. We'll be able to take him down. DK Phobos, he's going to go ahead. He pops the Heaven's Halberd, immediately going to follow up with Ramses chasing after, and there's so much with the vacuum coming out here. It's looking really, really scary right now for Team Spirit. Looks like FNG and DK Phobos are going to have to go onto the retreat.
I mean, that was a really, really good fight for VP. They pick off Biver in the backlines. Ramses just jumps him immediately with that Orchid, and I mean, just that actually changed the fight so much, because that's who's been really pestering Virtus.pro with Mana Leak and Blinding Light as soon as the heal's coming out as well. So VP jump him immediately, use the rest of the team to engage on Team Spirit so that they can't respawn, and then Sven swings in around from behind and catches off the rest of the cores, even man fighting up against the troll, who some would consider the counter to the Sven because of all the bashes that come out.
Oh, the push forward immediately coming out. FNG in a little bit of trouble here. Maybe bought off a little bit more than Kachu. And the Glimmer Cape comes out, though. We'll be able to steal spell off of the Lena. She pulls the BKB. They're able to get the Laguna Blade off over onto Pasha, but it just doesn't do enough damage. She's pretty tanky here. X marks the spot coming out over onto DK Phobos, but it doesn't look like they want to continue back into this fight at this time.
Just farming up the Necro units. Nice casual 180 gold or so. And no one actually
just goes bottom.
Keeping from mid to bottom lane. Wants these tier 2s.
I mean, Venomancer's down. That's definitely when I would say, like, oh, I don't have to deal with all these stupid little, you know, just wards. Yeah, I will take that any day. They do spot out, though, over here. Lil gonna be able to get thrown up into the air. They get the X marks the spot off as well. And there's a jump forward coming out from ILTW. He's found an opening. The Ice Blast comes in. Looks like they're gonna be able to get the kill over onto the Rubik. Laguna Blade coming out over onto DK Phobos, but looks like at the same time, no one's just going to back off from that fight. Solo, unfortunately, will be another blood sacrifice. And the Scotty's completed on LTW now as well. So even more kiting coming out from the side of Team Spirit.
Well, we figured out why he wants the SNY. He is just trying to get every slow they possibly can against Lena and Sven. They have the Boar slow, they've got Gale, they've got just Diffusal Blade, SNY, Scotty. They are just trying to kite as long as they possibly can.
It's a good strategy. I mean, I'm loving this halberd pick up over onto DK Phobos, but anything you can do so Sven can't hit creeps, it's always a good thing. So the slow coming out from Scotty, you've got the slows coming out from the Venomancer, the halberd. Ramsey just dishes out so much damage if he's allowed to hit stuff. And that's a huge problem. Oh boy, Biver, I don't think he realizes how close he came to death there for just half a second.
I honestly don't think Biver was a danger. I think if he finds the Sven, then that's a lot more scary, because ILTW and Iceberg both immediately in the area. You recall probably Iceberg, he's a little bit less mobile. You bring in ILTW and you just kill that Sven, unless he pops BKB, which you're also happy with, because right now he's at 6 seconds. So if you can get him down to that 5-second BKB, it's kind of a victory for you.
That's another thing I forgot to mention too. The blinding light coming out from Coddle will be able to keep Sven from hitting you as long as he doesn't pop that BKB. And the diffusal.
He does have the Bloodthorn now, which will kind of counter. That's why he picked it up, not just because of the Troll Warlord, but also the blinding light going to come out. So with Bloodthorn online now, Sven at least has a way to reliably hit once BKB's down, as long as he doesn't get Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah, they're trying to protect him as much as possible. Someone's got a Lincoln's that's been placing on him. I believe that was... I think no one placed it on him in the base as they're coming out. They've got Glimmer Capes, they've got Force. Whatever they can do to kind of keep this alive. And what game was it the other day that we saw where it was like a yo-yo, basically? They just kept pushing everyone around in circles.
I believe it was Effect and Virtus.pro again. I remember correctly.
That's possible. Was it Effect that bought a whole bunch of force staffs? We just watched them being thrown around the entire time.
I think so. Yeah. We've done a lot of casting this tournament, Moxie.
It's just been so much Dota. It's been great. It's always a game to watch right now. I'm sure the players are really exhausted, but
it's great for the viewers and it's great for the casters. So.
Affirmative.
Ooh, they get the courier pick off. That had the bots for, I believe it was probably Venomancer, I would assume. It's still a really big pick off, though.
Definitely. It prevents them from being able to just go back and forth the entire time, although they do have the recall on the Coddle, so it's not that, like, it's a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal in some respects, just because he can easily just bring people to him.
Well, it's nice because you can... I mean, obviously, like you said, it's not the biggest detriment, but bots online with a Coddle is such a disgusting combo because you can very easily just bots to a lane, push it out, and then have Coddle recall you back, or vice versa. You know, you get recalled to a fight, and then the fight goes well, you bots to lane, then you push it out. It's just a lot of extra mobility around the map, especially with this Beastmaster. That
Beastmaster who's murdering Solo, or attempting to murder Solo. Nice save here coming out from Pasha. And while this is all going down, though, they do find the Kunkka over onto the side. They managed to get a pick off.
This stolen X Marks is just doing so much work for FNG. It's working better on the Rubik than it does on the Kunkka.
It looks like they're going to try to get this push started. It's daytime. They've got the heal coming out from Coddle. They've got lots of vision. I think they were looking at Roche, right? That's their next objective, so they'll wait on that and just keep checking back at this pit. This is a really big deal for them. Still not up, though. Still has a couple more minutes.
You know, I'm really surprised that Rubik hasn't been played more in this tournament. We did see Team Spirit actually looking back. They did play it against Ions. They have played it in this tournament, but a lot of the other games I've seen, not a whole lot of Rubik play, which is surprising. He's got Null Field, which is great against all the magic damage that's in the meta right now. You've got Zeus, you've got Venomancer, Necrophos, and then as well, you have the capability to steal any spell that's bothering you that game. This game, X-Marks has been FNG's spell of choice. If he has that, he very rarely swaps it out for another spell.
It does a lot of work, like you're saying. X is just such a good spell. If you can get your hands on it, that's one that you want to hold on to for as long as possible. Do as many plays as you can as well. But still keeping an eye on the Roche pit. Being very, very patient over on the side of the Dire. Interesting to note, Lina and Sven still top of the net worth, though, after all is said and done. 29k over on Lina, 27 on Ramsey Sven. And there is a bit of split pushing coming out here. Oh, TK Phobos runs around here into the corners. Randy Nasky finds his kill over onto FNG, pops the BKB and the God Strength, but at the same time, no one is just like hiding around over into the corner, juking around, trying to get more time so that way they can take that tower and those racks. More TPs coming back. They will be able to finally get the kill over onto the Beastmaster, but the tower goes down.
I mean, that was really well played by DK Phobos. We saw some nice rap plays coming out from him yesterday, but I mean, today, just upping that game again. The Keeper of the Light is going to really enable him with that too. If Lina doesn't TP back there and he's able to get like a whole lane of racks, he just gets recalled back into the fight and he's ready to go.
This fight has just been going on back and forth non-stop. They get the Glimmer Cape over off onto Ramses, but they still spot him over here onto the side. They should be able to get this kill. And there's the recall coming out from Coddle. Roche is up. This is Spirit's time to go in.
Yeah, you can already see the pings coming out from FNG. Get right into that pit with Ramses down. He does have buyback, but I don't think he wants to expend it for this Roche. They're going to opt instead, push out their lanes.
They don't have much of a choice. They have to push out their lanes because they're going to be running at them now. Coming out here from the side of Spirit. They might want to try to get a pick off first. In fact, Pasha's a little forward here. Does realize, though, that he needs to get back.
He just wanted that one last Ion Shell on the wave. Surge is back. He's got a lot of mobility. He's got a Force Staff online for himself as well. Not an item you see a whole lot on Darkseer, but this game I think very useful against both the Venomancer and the kiting that's coming out from this Troll Warlord.
Now this is a little scary because they didn't get any sort of a pick off here. Sven down for another 40 seconds. So if they can push that buyback, that'd be great. I think that'd be a definite victory for them, but They had trouble going high ground before with an Aegis. So let's see what they can do. Decent ILTW immediately just running into the base. Goes ahead, he pops the BKB, maybe a little bit early, but they do find no one over here onto the side. Glimmercape comes out with the BKB, will provide a little bit more longevity for him. Ice Blast coming in. There's the shout, though, coming in from DK Phobos. He does go ahead, grabs no one. No one can be very dead here. Beautiful vacuum into wall coming out as well. That Laguna Blade doing so much damage. She's just trying to fight her way out, and they're all just ticking down so fast here, but unfortunately, looks like we will lose the Rubik. FNG's going to go down. They'll maybe be able to grab DK Phobos, and we still have ILTW. We do hear that the Iceberg Venomancer gonna be able to go ahead, pop that cheese, turn himself back around. They don't want to leave without getting this objective, but Ramses, he's alive and well, and he's gonna be able to get that kill over onto ILTW. Their window just closing, and not gonna be able to get the objective yet again. That's 2 times that they've gotten Roche, and they haven't gotten an objective.
I mean, you've been asking for the Wombo combo all game, Moxie. That was it. That was it. I mean, if Sven had been alive there, would have been a full team wipe, 100%. But really nice play with the boat coming on top of the vacuum. Torrent to follow up. Lena doing as much work as she can. She does end up falling, but even then, so much work getting done by Virtus.pro. Really nice execution. Popping the Aegis, and then on top.
Oh, Ramses. They use the Primal Roar. Boat comes out trying to give him that buff. Iceberg turns back around. He's just trying to kite non-stop here. They know God's Strength is going to go down in a few seconds. They will be able to get the Mana Lake. There's going to be the boss TP coming out here from no one. He's going to try to provide the backup here. BKB gets Popco over from Iceberg. They'll turn around, try to take down DK Phobos. There's a nice vacuum coming in here with that Ion Shell. He doesn't really know where he is exactly, but he's trying to find him. We'll be able to go ahead, pop the Aegis, and the rest of EP just waiting for him to come up, welcome him back to the party, and we'll lose DK Phobos with that eagle sound as he dies.
I really thought Troll had the Aegis there, but I guess not. But nice job for VP. They do lose Sven. He got chased down by Necronomicon and Plague Wards there. Very unfortunate. But I mean, they're holding objectives, and they're back in the net worth is back in their favor. XP still 10,000 lead for Team Spirit, but it's starting to make its way back up. It was about an 18,000 lead earlier in the game. So VP, making that comeback. They're not out yet. Still no lanes of barracks taken.
I just don't know how they're... they've got the kill over onto Ramses. He does have buyback, but they're just not able to get any objectives. They're not getting any buybacks from him. They're not getting the actual racks. How do they go about this? How do they make something happen here? It'll be the 3rd Roche next time it's up.
I think it'll be 4th, because both of those last ones had cheese. So I think it'll be 4th Roche. Because Troll did one very earlier in the game once he got his Mask of Madness online, so that was 4th Roche. But I mean, they really need to take a fight on Team Spirit's side of the map. That's the thing. They keep taking these really nice team fights on their high ground, which yes is giving them their net worth back, giving them these leads. But like you said, it's not giving them objectives. So they need to keep their lanes pushed out, go for a smoke play, and find a way to take a fight on Team Spirit's side of the map.
Pasha actually has a sheep stick finished as well now, so that's even more lockdown for the Troll, the Venomancer, whoever they need.
I'm actually starting to wonder if they don't initiate onto DK Phobos. He's doing so much work on this Beastmaster with his Primal Roars, popping any Lincolns he can with the Halberd, following it up with the Roar. Sven now opts for his own Lincolns, but again, either way, he's not happy. Does he get stunned? He's not happy. Does he get disarmed? He's not happy. Doesn't matter which order DK Phobos uses this item and this ability. Either way, Sven's not hitting something.
He's actually got his own Lincolns now too. I didn't realize he had picked that up. I thought that was.
He just swapped it out now.
Right.
So their only hope now is to keep the Lincoln's buff active from Lena using it on Sven, and then getting it double popped by DK Phobos.
There's a jump forward with the BKB coming out from Iceberg. They're looking to get any sort of pick off, trying to get this advantage to go high ground, but unfortunately they can't follow it up that easily. And FNG, ooh, that MKB hurts really, really bad. There's the Primal Roar coming out. They'll be able to go ahead, throw out the Stormhammer. Boat will come in as well. They'll try to push him around here, try to buy DK Phobos a little bit more time, but they still have the vision, and they will be able to take him out. They'll be able also to take down the Rubik. The wall coming out here should be able... Look at all this damage being thrown out. Ramsey's turned back around. Stormhammer comes in, and that's a very dead team. Looks like they're still trying to give chase over here onto Biver. He's been a real thorn in their side. He's going to be able to just dodge around the trees, blink himself over, and TP out, but...
I mean, they could very easily push top and mid right now. Push in mid, make threaten a buyback, and maybe they take another fight. I mean, all their stuff's on cooldown, but so too is Team Spirits.
Well, they're going to force buybacks out at the very least right now.
Yeah.
They have to. They have to defend this. They can't let them just walk into the base like that. In fact, we see that Lil, the wonderful support, will be able to drop off a TP scroll for Ramses too, so he can just go and head himself back home. Lino popping forward immediately. There's the Hex with the Pasha. Should be able to get this kill over onto Biver. The buyback comes out though from Venomancer and the Troll. Are they going to be satisfied with that? No, they're going to be satisfied with taking that tower though.
And I mean, they can just siege so quickly with Lina. The level 25 where she gets her extra fiery soul speed is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're going to have God Strength up on Sven in like a second here too, so they could really just stay here in the base. They know that the rest of the team, they don't have their buybacks here, else they would have done them already. 20 seconds until DK Phobos comes back up. They're just mowing down these towers. In the meanwhile, they see their advantage in the opening. Rubik's up now.
And I think this is VP's cue to back up. With DK Phobos coming online, they're actually going to go for the megas here. This is a risky play, but it could pay off for them. There's still no Coddle who's been giving them so many problems.
And again, they pop the God Strength. They know that they can just chunk this down as fast as possible. Rubik just Rubik steals Warcry. They turn back around. They've got the Lotus Orb up and over. Oh, there's the beautiful wall back in combo we were talking about. And immediately Ramsey's running forward, puts out a ton of damage. Looks like the Ice Blast on top of it is just the icing on the cake. And game one, going over to the side of Virtus.pro.
Man, that was actually so scary for VP for a while there. They kept getting picked off by, Sven kept getting picked off, Lina kept getting picked off, but just, really nice patient play, keeping the farm up, keeping those net worths near the top or at the very top, and just really nice patient high ground play, waiting for the BKB of the Troll to get lower and lower. Their own BKB is also dropping low, but I think VP just understanding that they had the superior team fight as the game goes later and able to use that to get this victory.
Well, these are definitely heroes that are very comfortable for the side of VP. Ramsey's world famous for his Sven, Pasha very well known for his Darkseer, the Lina, of course, no one. So you can see they really understand these heroes well. They know what they need to get in order to be effective, and they were very, very smart. While Team Spirit was trying to push early, trying to take advantage of, the lead that they had, they were really smart. They said, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to be farming. Let's try to make this space possible so that way we can get what we need. And then they did. And they came online, and now they took the victory. So guys, that was game one of our finals here for CIS qualifiers for ESL Hamburg. We will be back with game number 2, so please stick around.